and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also contact me. And if you lend your friend and your family your hard-earned cash and you cannot get it back, well, then you can contact Real Talk, Debt Collection Department at 339-1670 or 238-6716. Set up an appointment, work with your agreement that you had with the individual, and we will be glad to step in and help you out. I want to say a special good night to you viewers of Real Talk in Trinidad and Tobago, of the Caribbean, and around the globe. Those of you on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali or Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. On YouTube also, TT Real Talk. Subscribe and you would know when we go live. Now viewers, as we start off tonight, it's another day in the month of March in Trinidad and Tobago. As we start off, the Minister of Health has stated that there are now 5 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. The latest case is a 26-year-old male. The ministry confirmed this case late last night in a media release. However, according to the ministry, that number remains at 5 up until this evening. This country confirmed its first case of COVID-19 last Thursday, 12th of March 2020, at a media conference. On Saturday, medical doctor Michelle Trotman explained that the disease is very mild.
This is mainly mild disease. In essence, many of us may have corona and never know it. It's a flu-like illness. And many of us, most of us, will respond and never have complications. This is mainly mild.
That the more vulnerable group are likely to be affected more.
Good news again. Looks like more the elderly. It's not to say that we don't treasure our elderly population, but it looks for now like it's elderly. People with a nice big word that we like to use as physicians that make us important, but I will break it down for you: immunocompromise. A lot of syllables, but easy. Your immune system, which is what we use to fight things, doesn't work as well as others. So those are the people that may not always, but may not do well with coronavirus. Who are they? Diabetics, fortunately, especially poorly controlled diabetes. Patients with cancers. Patients on medications for cancers that can deplete the immune system. Some patients with renal disease. These are the types of patients, and of course patients with HIV and so on.
Now viewers, while she was saying that on Saturday, the more vulnerable, the more elderly, those with disease, those with medical problems, are quicker to contract it. Listen carefully, The more vulnerable groups are likely to be affected. Last night, a 26-year-old male has confirmed COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago, up to number 5. 5 cases now. So, I wonder if this 26-year-old male was an elderly, and I wonder what disease or what medical problem he had. All around the world, we are seeing people are contracting COVID-19. And in Trinidad here, we have the doctor telling the population, a medical doctor telling the population that is the more elderly would contract it. So I guess they were supposed to have a media briefing this evening to say that the condition 26-year-old individual who made it number 5 COVID case in Trinidad and Tobago, what medical problem he had. Because the 26-year-old just caused that speech that you said on Saturday for you to back it up. Now, I am not a doctor. Ms. Trotman is a doctor. I am not blind because I am seeing other countries around the world, young and old, are contracting it. So I am sure I am not misleading anybody in any way. See, this is what I was always saying. We cannot fool everybody at the same time. The more vulnerable. So I guess all the people that contracted around the world had diabetes or some sort of sickness. Some sort of sickness they had. Now you see, when these people in authority in this field come out and tell you something, and a couple days after you're seeing something else, the citizen just want to know, well, what's going on? Because the doctor is saying one thing and we are seeing another thing. You see, I am not labeling the doctor, I am just saying what she is saying after. Feel free to call in and drop in your 2 cents because this will affect you later on. Also, I would also like to know how the 14-day restriction, the impact of that, what would it do to you as a business person? So feel free to call in. 238-6716 is our live line here in studio. So let me hear what you have to say. You see, these are the things that the more vulnerable is like the more older people. So all these people around the world is older people. This is why I just listen to them carefully. And they are the ones that is giving advice to the public of Trinidad and Tobago, to the citizen. On my last night, I was telling you all about the finance minister. He have access to funds. And a lady called and tell me, Saeed, I insulting them. I be mischievous. 4 years back, the minister didn't come out and say he have access to funds. On the 5th year now, you have access to funds. And Tanti vexed with me, but I sure Tanti didn't know that. I definitely sure Tanti didn't know that. I wonder if she's surprised now the minister had funds. Access to funds. And I'm sure she's listening tonight again. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right ahead.
Yes, when she used the word vulnerable, I think she meant to use the susceptible to death. But what I gather so far is that the elderly and those that have diabetes and HIV could die now. Yes, so that is what I gather so far.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much. She explained that the more vulnerable group are likely to be affected. Meanwhile, Health Minister Terence Dial Singh said separate triage areas have been set up at hospitals for patients with flu-like symptoms. This was expected to take effect on Sunday.
We spoke about a week ago amongst ourselves in the RHAs and the ministry to make it easy as possible for persons to get triaged at our accident and emergencies, those with flu-like symptoms. From tomorrow, and it has already begun, each of our major hospitals will have a separate area set up for the triaging of persons with flu-like symptoms.
Minister Dayal Singh once again reminds citizens that there was no vaccine to treat COVID-19. So it's up to you, the individual, to be cautious, take precautions of what is taking place in the country. Listen to your news, listen to your bulletin, be aware of your surrounding, make sure and have your sanitizers with you anywhere you go, and keep yourself clean. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I've been listening to you.
Caller, we are getting some interference with the line. I don't know if it's on your side, but see if you could call back and we will let you make your comment. So now we're going to the president now. The president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Paula May Weeks, has broken her silence on the COVID-19 pandemic. In a media release today, Her Excellency echoed the statement of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. In a media conference on Monday, Dr. Rowley admits that this country is facing a crisis. Her Excellency also said the same thing. She also joined the government in saying that citizens must do their part and exercise social responsibility. Her Excellency appealed to citizens to remain calm. She insisted that now is not the time for criticism. I will pause there for a minute. Now is not the time for criticism. I understand that. But when the speaker, I believe it's on the 4th or the 5th of this month, when the speaker was asked by the opposition to have an emergency meeting or to move a motion to have a discussion concerning the COVID-19, she did not see it fit to discuss. Like I said, if they discussed it, today we would have been at a better stage in planning than waiting for the bomb to drop and then start a plan. Her Excellency noted that together we must focus on what needs to be done to get as many of us through this as safely as possible. Now, I agree with you. Like I said on my previous show, I have no problems. I have no problem with the government putting things in place. I will highlight the good. But hearing a minister, after 4 years, the health minister saying he have access to the finance, well, that triggered something different. And it also triggered Tanti. It also triggered Tanti. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello. Good night.
Good night.
Saeed,
Yes?
I want to ask you how you could help out the Guyanese in Guyana, boy. How you could help them out.
We have to wait in Trinidad until they settle down with their elections.
Saeed, I just asked you how you could
If you're listening on your set, presently, I not intervening. Trinidad and Tobago cannot intervene. In Guyana, they have to settle along themselves with their elections in order for something to be dealt with across. They need to pull themselves together. The government need to settle down things, not the Trinidadians. The president said they will resume the river lines, the church service, the bar scenes and fetting when the crisis is over. The president, however, lamented that it is likely to get worse before it gets better. Therefore, she advised that we need to hold strain. She urged citizens to follow the guidelines set out by the Minister of Health. In her statement, the president took the opportunity to thank our medical personnel at the front lines of the fight for their service and dedication. She said persons should be kind, compassionate, and remember, all of us are our brothers and sisters' keeper. Now, well said by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I agree with her. I agree with her. But we could have been in a better planning stage. We could have been in a better planning stage if this was discussed when it was raised in the Parliament. Now, we're moving on to food price. This is what I want to hear from you, the nation, because it will affect even me. The rich man, the middle class, and the poor. Food price may increase as a result of COVID-19. This is the warning of the president of the Agriculture Society of Trinidad and Tobago, Danu Suku. She made the comments during a televised interview this morning. Caller, good night.
Saieed, good night.
Yes?
Saieed, the casinos wide open. So you can't close the bars and not close those casinos.
True, true.
People living in them casinos whole night, whole day.
Correct, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree with the president. A lot of things that she mentioned. And with you also, as usual, if they had taken the cow by its horns, we wouldn't even have 5
Correct.
persons with this. But we have a mentality in this country that God is a Trinity. And the three hills, the Trinity Hills,
Yes, yes.
protecting us. But we getting tied up. They better get serious. You see the prisoners, if they like they're fighting for,
Yes.
because only one has to go in there infected.
And that's it.
It's going to be a massacre.
Yes.
You understand? So let them wake up. Prices of food, they're going up every day.
True.
Every day side. We go in the grocery here to get up 1 or 2 little items for the virus. And if you see the prices that weren't there, the prices going up in some of the supermarkets. And the supermarket clean, the shelves clean.
Yes.
So, problem right through in this place to come. God mercy on us. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. As a result, she said, this would be the long-term impact. Misuku said, seedlings, fertilizers, and food items are some of the things imported into this country. However, at a media conference last Friday, Trade Minister Paula Gupiskun addressed the issue of imports. She said, as for now, there is no significant threat when it comes to imports from the United States.
We are concerned about the level of supply, and in that regard, we have had discussions again with our suppliers, our local suppliers, and we are comforted again by the stock
stock in hand and also goods on the water to Trinidad and Tobago. So right now, I don't believe that there is any significant threat to the.
Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Saeed. Saeed, I went to Price's supermarket in Coral, there, El Dorado. And these people selling expired flour. When you check the expiry date, and they put on that is a supermarket master to sell expired things. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. The Agriculture Society president revealed that there has been an increase in the demand for food items. This was also noted at the press conference on Friday by Minister Gopi Skoon. This she said, this presents an opportunity for persons to take advantage of the demand by increasing price.
In the light of this, the Consumer Affairs Division is calling on all businesses to be fair in their pricing and to refrain from price gouging and any other exploitative practices. In a global health crisis, there is no place for this type of corrupt and unprincipled behavior.
On Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali announced the closure of this country's borders. This closure is expected to take effect as of midnight tonight, Tuesday. However, Dr. Rowley insisted that exemptions would be made. National Security Minister Stuart Young explained that vessels bringing food and supplies to this country would be allowed to dock.
We will of course continue to allow cargo ships bringing cargo, meaning supplies to Trinidad and Tobago, pharmaceuticals, drugs, food supplies, etc. So there is absolutely no need, because I know people are irresponsible and they'll run down that part. That will fall in an exemption, but of course subject to all of the protocols that we will be advised of by the Ministry of Health that we have already begun to discuss. So for example, no disembarkation of crew and these types of things, because we are always going to be driven in our decision making by the health experts, and they will guide us with the decisions. Thank you.
Now viewers, as of midnight tonight, non-nationals are barred from entering Trinidad and Tobago. So those of you who are on the outside, Trinidadians on the outside, in this affected country, you are safe to come home. It doesn't matter what country you are coming from. You will be quarantined, well, I hope, for 14 days. And we'll see how it goes from there. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, my dear.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, do you think it's fair to keep the gyms and them open in this country?
The gyms? Well, now, I heard that some gyms throughout Trinidad and Tobago are telling the individuals and them to call in because they want to keep the number under 25. Under 25. So in some...
The thing about it is that, okay, tell me if you find this is fair. Just last week we paid for our membership, right? And the coronavirus has now come into Trinidad. We went to the gym and we asked them if they can just stand down our membership just until everything
settles,
gets better. Yes, because you're not supposed to be in small spaces.
True.
People are sweating in the gym. They're using all this equipment and whatever. It's not safe.
Yes.
Right? I also have my children going to the gym. So I, as a parent, don't think it is safe to put them in that sort of environment. So we paid for 4 of us. And you'll tell me, that was $340 a person. And just last week we paid this. And imagine they are telling us that that's our decision. The gym is open and they cannot do anything like that. What do you think about that? And imagine the Prime Minister is has the country in a state of emergency where he's telling a lot of businesses to close. In this kind of environment where you have such, close spaces with people, how can they say that that is okay to do people and rob them their money?
No, but gyms throughout Trinidad, some places are appealing to the members and them. Call in, set your appointments, and they are trying to minimize, keep it as low as possible. So you would still go to the gym, you will still exercise. Now that gym that you are presently going in, that is ridiculous.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
There's nothing we can do. We don't know what to do.
Join another gym.
Well, join another gym, but then we're losing our money in the process because the people, the business owners are just doing what they want to the public. Because from what I understand, a lot of people are calling into the gym as well, stating the same thing, that they don't feel comfortable.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Okay.
In a situation like this, the owner of the gym would be losing at the end of the day, because if people start pulling out from the gym, what will happen? The owner apparently is not making arrangement for his members to come and exercise. Shane, I hope that is not with your gym, So as we move on tonight, viewers, National Security Minister Stuart Young has met with heads of this country's defense and protective service as part of the government response to COVID-19. Present at the meeting were Chief of Defense Staff, Air Commodore Darrell Daniel, and Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, who participated via telephone, as well as Divisional and Security Operation Commanders of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, and the Strategic Service Agency. According to the Ministry of National Security, discussion centered on a multi-agency approach in responding to any situation as it relates to COVID-19 and the maintenance of a safe and secure environment for all persons in Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, Health Minister Terence Dial Singh said the issue of bars remain opening was discussed during today's meeting. At the meeting, the Minister of National Security looked at ways in which the Protective Service can deal with the matter. I wonder if casinos will be locked down as well, because inside it is have a lot of people. So I wonder what the ministry have to say concerning the casinos, because if the bars and the party house and the fete tents are closing for the safety of the virus not spreading, I wonder if the casinos throughout Trinidad and Tobago will be closed also. And I wonder if the Protective Service of Trinidad and Tobago would make sure or enforce these establishments to be closed. So here now we will see who is who in Trinidad and Tobago. Now we will see if the owners of the casinos is above the police, or are they above the rules of the Prime Minister. Now is the time we would see it. Caller, good night.
Saeed,
Yes?
Miami had big shows come off, and they shut down the shows
Yes.
off the bat. People paid hundreds of dollars for tickets.
Yes.
At gym price, you are at risk. If you and your children going in the gym, you should be glad that they're operating again, because that money refund will cost you more to get yourself and those in funds. innocent infants better. We don't look at money. Money must not be the issue in this. Money must be the issue for important things, not gym refund. People lost bigger money outside there with big shows, and nobody could do nothing about it. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Minister Dayal Singh told the Senate the Attorney General is also looking at legislative measures to address the issue. I hope one is casino. However, in an interview with the media on Monday, Police Commissioner Gary Gifford said that while they can urge or persuade bars to close, they cannot force them to shut down to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If the minister, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, is saying that he wants the bars and them closed, the bars, the Fed Place, and encouraging food establishments to let the people around them come in, provide them with their order, and they leave. No dine-in. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago wants that. Now we have the Police Commissioner, Mr. Gary Griffith, said, while they can urge or persuade bars to close, they cannot force them to shut down. Now we have the President now of Trinidad and Tobago is backing up the Prime Minister concerning these things. So my thing now is that if the bar owners and the fete tents and the casino owners and the food establishments don't want to take heed, do you think the President should call a state of emergency as a ruling to the bars and the nightclubs and the casinos and the food establishment to close? Or to keep the crowd under 25? I mean, she is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She have the authority. Caller, good night.
Good afternoon, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead.
Said, this virus outbreak happened in December. Now, since December, this is March we're in.
Yes.
Now, the only way this virus could have come into this country is either by sea travel or by air travel.
Yes.
No other way. Now, instead of our Prime Minister remaining in this country and putting things in place, because it wasn't if the virus going to enter Trinidad, it was when.
Yes, when.
Stay in this country, put things in place, and be prepared to either prevent it or to be able to control it. But no, he goes gallivanting. He wants to become a king in Ghana. So all over the world, gallivanting, have these ministers them talking a pack of rubbish to the country and misleading the population. Now that the thing hit this country, he coming to talk a set of rubbish to the nation, which we're not prepared for now. And we are in a situation where if this thing, which it will get out of control, will be devastating to this country. Now, I want to ask a question. How much foreign exchange did Carnival bring into this country?
Nice question.
Where is the foreign exchange right now that was generated from Carnival into the public domain? That people could say, okay, because of Carnival, we have access to foreign exchange now in the country.
I understand.
But they cannot say that. Now we risk the chance of having Carnival with all these foreigners coming into the country. Now we could probably say that now because of Carnival, probably we have the virus in the country. because there are a lot of people who is being tested now and could be turned up positive. So these people really have to get their act together. He listened, every leader of different countries made that same speech that, and he come out and talking about close bars and close this and close that. Trump make that same speech.
Yes.
The French Prime Minister made that speech.
Correct.
Spanish, everybody made that same speech.
Yes,
so like he just listened to everybody else and come and talk that out and play like he doing a big thing for the country. Let me tell you something. People have to be more alert, take their own precautions, and don't study about no gym and this and nonsense. And you have to be very, very cautious because this thing is serious.
Yes.
And you know, we always believe that this nothing ever happen to we because we Trinidadians.
Thank
Let me
you.
tell you something, people. This thing is more serious than we think.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Have a good afternoon, Mr. Said.
Thank you, my friend. You see, this is the same thing I was saying. Prevention is better than cure. We had about 2 weeks to discuss the matter, but we didn't discuss the matter. Now we're trying to scramble now to put things in place. Oh, by the way, I want to ask, all the time we didn't have beds in no hospital. How come all of a sudden we have 300 beds? Where are the patients that were on these beds and them? Where did they go? Because I hear some stories about individuals from Cora Hospital. I hear some stories, and it's sad. It's real sad to the Minister of Health. It's real sad. It stinks to know that incidents like these could be happening in a hospital. Kola, good night.
Yeah, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I would like to highlight two topics, right? One topic is about closing business, right? Right. The next topic is about the poultry agricultural farmer in Trinidad and Tobago. We take ADB loan and they can't get grains and chicken and egg in Trinidad. We're going to become a loan in the ADB Development Bank under the Prime Minister and the Minister of Agriculture. They have to come out and say something in behalf of that because people loan going to be bankrupt in Agriculture Development Bank.
Yes.
You understand?
Thank you, my friend. Now, according to the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Griffith said that the TTPS can persuade citizens. They can persuade citizens, but they have no legal authority to shut down a bar with a valid liquor license. So how does this work now? Because the commissioner is saying they could persuade you, but they can't force you to shut down a bar who have a valid license. And on the other side, we have the Prime Minister saying all bars should be shut down or keep your numbers under 25. You know what this is saying? We are scrambling here now to put things together. Because the commissioner is saying one thing, the Prime Minister says one thing, the Minister of Health is saying another thing. So we're scrambling now. This week, we're scrambling to see what we're going to put in place. Many people will vex with me, you know. Many people in Trinidad and Tobago will vex with me. But I do business. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. The Prime Minister is saying close the bars. While the Commissioner is saying we cannot persuade them, we cannot force them. So how are we going to deal with this? He said they will work. They will work in tandem with Dr. Rowley, who is the chair of the National Security Council. But as of Monday night, they would not be able to shut down bars. In a media briefing on Monday, Following a special cabinet meeting, Dr. Rowley urged all bars and other areas with public gathering to close in order to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. Some churches, some religious sectors throughout Trinidad have dismissed their gathering. My audio guy was throughout Trinidad and Tobago today, capturing shots of bar being closed. So these are the owners of the bar now. They are taking the heat of the Prime Minister and they are shutting their bars just to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now the thing is the casinos throughout Trinidad and Tobago closed? Because they just have over 50 individuals, in some cases hundreds. So I want to know now if these casinos will shut down also. Keep in mind, we heard from the Commissioner of Police saying they cannot force them. So money is important to the casino. But the thing is, what about the small bar owners? Money not important to them? So you see, this is where the president needs to step in now, because she have the power to fix the problem. This is where the Prime Minister have to go to the President now and have a meeting. So we are encountering a problem now. As the numbers grow, we are encountering a problem. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Yes. Having 300 beds or 500 beds is not the important, you know. It's having the ventilators to go with those beds.
Thank you so much.
The bed without the ventilator is no use.
Thank
and that is
you.
what they need to say if they have the ventilators. And if they send people for training to put those ventilators and operate those ventilators. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, caller. Well said. Now, persons of interest. Sadro Mohammed. Sadro, like you want to get in touch with me at all, boy? Don't afraid. Call me, we can talk. It's better than having your picture up every night. Julia Maraj. Like you refuse to contact me. But I guess all I like seeing all I picture up on TV. It is make you famous. Justin Williams. Well, I just started with you last night. Out in Tobago. You are your mom. Contact me. Real Talk, Debt Collection Department would love to have a word with you three. And the more you refuse, is the more your picture will go up. And I'm just keeping it calm for now. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Barbados.
Welcome. Welcome to Real Talk.
Yeah, I watch your show every night, and it's
Tell us the situation in Barbados presently, because I understand today you all had 2 confirmed cases.
Yeah, we had 2 confirmed cases this morning, but everybody's kind of calm. But you see, everybody's still running supermarkets, picking up everything. Like a kind of panic.
Okay.
So, yeah, call for schools to close from tomorrow.
In Barbados?
Yeah, schools close tomorrow. All the big gatherings close off. The festivals that was going to be held this month, the Oyster and Fish Festival that's going to pause also. Sports with the schools, those are put on hold and all such like. The bars, some of the bars that we just big, those are shut also. I understand it was just near that Prime Minister of Trinidad called for these bars to be closed.
Yes.
But Commissioner said can't force them to be closed. But as I said, if there's a national shutdown, right, it's obvious the bars will have to be closed.
Yes. Cooperate, at least cooperate.
Yeah. Because if there's a national shutdown, it goes for everybody, not just some.
Yes.
All.
And I know the Prime Minister of Barbados, I know she would put things in place very, very fast.
Yeah, because as she asked that it must be closed, it has to be closed. If not, the authorities got to go and shut them down.
Yes, yes, yes. But what is the situation in Barbados presently? Are they rushing for groceries? What about the pharmaceutical?
Right now the supermarkets are full. Supermarkets are full. The sanitizers, you can't even get sanitizers on the shelves now. And when you check alcohol, a lot of people just buying up the alcohol and so on. They are just rushing and buying these things.
Okay, okay. So the schools are out?
The schools are closed from tomorrow.
What about the situation with the hospitals across there?
Well, at the hospital, there's no visitation.
Okay.
The district hospitals, no visitation for right now.
How much quarantine center do you all have across there thus far?
Well, there are about about 5 centers.
Okay.
There are 1, 2, 3 fully in operation.
That's good.
And there's one that should be ready within 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think they'll come up, whenever then there are about 300 and odd beds that will be there.
Okay. Now, my question to you, did you all have planning before this incident took place?
This wasn't planned for, let me see, for a long time, because it was something that was planned between the Prime Minister, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health, along with the Defense Force, or part of the Defense Force is working along with them, doing the testing at the airport and the seaport, and part of the Defense Force Pargon, they're doing isolation at that area too. So it was something that was planned in a long time ago.
Very good, very good. My friend, I do want to thank you for the update in Barbados, and you will see me soon. As soon as this thing is wrapped up, I will be visiting Barbados. So I do thank you for sharing the incidents that occurred and the things that are well put in place. Even the bar owners agreeing with the ministers and the national security across there. I do want to thank you for joining us on Real Talk and giving us that information. Thank you, my friend. So here, you heard it, viewers. Barbados were planning. Barbados were planning long before it happened. And it's the same thing I was saying. When the matter was raised in the House, why didn't the Speaker allow the members to discuss? To have a discussion on, in case we should have 1 case, what do we have in place? In case we should have 2 cases, do we have a panic plan? What about sanitizers? What about security? What about school locking down? What about hospitals? What we had? Nothing. Nothing. Now, like I said, many of you all will get vexed with me for that. But let me tell you something. There is no cure for this. There is not. Look at China. Look at Italy. Look at the US. Look at Canada. Venezuela had 2 cases. They shut down, they locked down borders 1 time. They ain't playing with that. We're moving on now to pandemic leave. Caller, good night. Hello?
Yes, Saieed?
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah. When does administration come in power? Right? The Cuba hospital are the first thing supposed to open health.
Correct.
Right? And then they're supposed to build more hospital, more health center and all kind of thing, right? They dominate the health sector in Trinidad. You go into the hospital, you can't get medication. Appointment is 9 months and 10 months. But the virus come like a rain. When the rain falling, then the health minister looking for a barrel to full. You understand? So them that be thinking.
Thank you, my friend. So we're moving on to pandemic leave. Woo, times fly, boy. Times fly. A list of recommendations would be submitted to the cabinet for its consideration as it relates to pandemic leave in the private sector. This is according to the Labour Minister Jennifer Baptiste-Primus. She was responding to a question from the opposition in the Senate earlier. Minister Baptiste-Primus said the recommendation would be submitted to the Parliament on Wednesday. On Sunday, the minister held a press conference where it was announced that workers can apply for pandemic leave in the light of COVID-19. Pandemic leave, however, applies to contract workers in the public service who do not have sick leave. Workers who have exhausted their sick leaves can also apply for pandemic leave. Pandemic leave can be granted to persons who are ill or who have no choice but to stay home to look after their children. Last Friday, the government announced the closure of schools in the first instance. However, on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced the extended closures of school until April 20th, 2020. Pandemic leave was one of the guidelines issued by the minister following the announcement of the closure of schools. We're moving on to the water taxi now. The water taxi service will be limited its numbers of passengers per sailing in a bid to limit the spread of COVID-19. This is one of the measures that the National Infrastructure Development Company Limited has put in place to deal with the issue. The information was given in the Senate today by Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan in response to a question from the opposition. He said, accommodation at each terminal for each sailing have been reduced by 50% to promote social distancing among passengers and is based on a first-come, first-served basis. He also added that the taxis are sanitized and aired out before and after every sailing. The water taxi has cancelled all tours chartered service. All tours and chartered service. Passengers have also been mandated to use hand sanitizers provided at the Port of Spain and San Fernando terminal. The water taxi service is asking that anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms to stay off the public vessel. The Minister of National Security said it is ready to receive 70 nationals stranded on a cruise ship in the water off Guadeloupe. In a media release, it noted that Minister Stuart Young and other members of the government have been communicating with some of these nationals as well as their families and members and friends. It added that the government is in communication with the French authorities to get accurate information on the status of our nationals on the ship and how these authorities intend to treat the situation. According to the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of National Security, arrangements are being made to receive our nationals. The ministry once again assured the public that government is working diligently to assist these nationals to return safely to Trinidad and Tobago. So now viewers, we are almost at the end of our show, 5 minutes. Today there was a riot in the prison. An officer, we understand that the superintendent was badly beaten. He's at hospital. He's resting. It's sad to know that in the prison, a riot occurred. And this riot, viewers, is about prisoners wanting to come out because they are saying, we heard some video posts, it's just that we are pressed for time for tonight. We heard in video posts that they are saying they want to be out. They do not want to die in there because of the COVID-19 virus. But the thing is, in the first place, what are you doing there? In the first place, what are you doing there? Now, I understand there might be some innocence. I understand there might be some on bail. Some waiting to go to court. Now that you are in prison, now you are wondering that if you contract this disease in prison, you might die. But you were out in the free world. You didn't study and you was free. You could have go by the doctor, you could have go and get a checkup, you could have get a flu shot, But now you're behind prison. Now you're wondering now if I contract this disease behind prison, well, oh God, I might die. But the thing is, you was out in the free world. What caused you to go behind there? Now, viewers, breaking news, we understand that 8 T&Tech employees are currently quarantined in Tobago. Reminders, all borders are closed to non-national as of midnight tonight. So viewers, I do wish the T&Tech employees speedily recovery, and I hope that they did not contract the COVID-19 because they are wanted in T&Tech to do their jobs, just to make sure we have current. So as of midnight tonight, viewers, the borders are closed to non-nationals. I mean, it's sad, you know, something like this happened to us in Trinidad, little Trinidad. That even affected my travel at the end of the month to England. I can't go anywhere, I locked down. I locked down, my staff knew I was traveling mountain, but nevertheless, if I have to stay here to make sure that my family and staff are safe, I will do it. So viewers, a rerun of this program is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Remember, our live show is from 7 to 8 p.m. Our call-in line is 238-6716. When our show go live, you can call in, voice your complaint, your issues, whatever it is. A rerun is the following day at 10 a.m. We have a rerun, so in case you missed it out during the night, you could see it in the morning. I know some of you are still on the road going home. Be safe out there. Those of you that need to see me, 339-1670 or 238-6716. Remember, my office open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So those of you that need to see me, you can contact us. Now, we are also on YouTube, TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. YouTube, share our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, and let the population of Trinidad and Tobago know this is the #1 current affairs program because we deal with the issue. You see Barbados calling tonight to let us know what is taking place across there. So it's not that you're not out of knowledge of what is going on in other countries, you know. We have people calling in, so feel free to let your friends and your family know. Like I said, I am in negotiation with a certain individual concerning land. So we can Real Talk could have the Rape Crisis Center being built. But like I said, I will need your help. So when that final negotiations takes place, I will let you know, and maybe only you all can start contributing to building the Rape Crisis Center for individuals. You never know if the wife, the daughter, the granddaughter, auntie, tanty, you never know if they could end up there. You understand? Viewers, we are out of time for tonight. Be safe. Enjoy your night. Thank you for making us the #1, and I will see you on the next appointed time, which is tomorrow. God spare life. Good night.